My name is Vishnu Menon, and I'm not a neuroscientist, but I used to have debilitating anxiety. I used to drink myself to sleep for puffing on that za to get away from my mind, and I believe that I have made great headway on beating my anxiety. Let me explain to you how your anxiety is preventing you from attaining your human potential. First off, your amygdala is the component of your brain that is in charge of your fight or flight mode. This part of your brain releases a surplus amount of cortisol within your body. It's basically like an adrenaline shot for your body. The downside is that if you're in this cortisol pump for too long, it damages your brain and your body. It'll stress you out. It'll age you quicker too. It'll make it so you're irrationally thinking. Your cognition lowers temporarily. Prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain that is in charge of strategy and reasoning and logic. This is the higher functionality of your brain, the part of your brain that does not react to situations, but assesses the information in front of you and develops a game plan. The functionality between these two parts of the brain is conversely proportional. That is basically a fancy way of saying if the functionality of one goes up, the others go down. Society trains us to be in fight or flight mode all day, which prevents people from truly being themselves. Society makes it so that we're constantly worried about how we look, constantly worried about the future. So impending doom syndrome is what I like to call it. This keeps people in a state of irrational thinking. They're not able to strategize and reason their way to their own future. These people are irrationally thinking. They take upon paths that they don't understand, but they see that others are doing it, and they see others attain success from it. But since they don't know enough about themselves, a lot of people end up unhappy within their career. And in my opinion, if you are unhappy with the work that you do, if you do not feel like you are truly contributing from your heart, if you are truly doing meaningful work, then you will be depressed. And that is also helpful to society, because depression ruins your body and mind and eventually will put you in the hospital or will have you seeking out things to quell your depression. So you're going to buy a bunch of shit. Instead of truly being yourself, you are just going to try to keep up with the Joneses. Just try to maintain face and exist through this life, but that is exhausting. If you're using your prefrontal cortex, you are in response mode, so you're processing information and you're strategizing a plan. The amygdala is the reason that people have a social mask. They are in fear of what others will think of them if they truly show their personality. But the prefrontal cortex allows you to take that mask off. If your prefrontal cortex is active, that means that you could care less. You are just processing information. You are truly in pursuit of your own ideals, aka you're not an NPC. You might be wondering, okay, how do you strengthen the prefrontal cortex? If this is the thing that's going to save my life, how do I strengthen it? You have to decide on a task and complete it. The easiest one, and also one of the hardest, paradoxically, is meditation. You set out to close your eyes for 5 minutes and you have to see through to the end. And then you work your way towards other tasks. The more tasks you do, the easier it becomes to use your prefrontal cortex to strengthen. So now your strategy comes easier, reasoning comes easier, your logic comes easier. The more you allow the amygdala to run the show, the more you stay in a fight or flight mode by living in shame, fear, or guilt, all of these things that society uses as a weapon to keep people irrationally thinking and not moving forward, also deeply impacting their memory. And if you're a victim to this, I want to ask you, do you remember what you were doing last week at the same time? 95% of people don't, because life has become a blur to them at this point. So just to rehash, society uses the amygdala to keep people submissive, and the way to become dominant within your own life is to strengthen your prefrontal cortex. This is where power lies for a human. The ability to set out on a task and complete it. And it's a snowball effect, so the more tasks you get done of your own volition for you, not for a job, the better this part of your brain works. Because even at a 9-to-5 job, a lot of the tasks that you have been given, you do out of fear of losing your job, fear of being seen as less. Take this information and do what you will with it, but I hope it genuinely helps.